7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You good, Pete? You were bouncing around in the background
I'm
there.
good. I don't know. I'm excellent. Welcome to IFB, Interplay Broadcasting. I'm New York Pete. I'm here with my buddy, actually two buddies, two mates, but over there is the Tipsy Toaster, and
Down there
underneath,
eventually. Yeah.
we're gonna have him up
There
somewhere.
you go.
He'll probably
There
be in the
he is.
middle.
He's right there.
Where is he? Doc McAuley is there. He is. Boom.
I have to
Boom.
adjust his. If
What's
he
up,
holds
Doc
still
McAuley?
long
How
enough,
are you?
I'll adjust him. Oh, hang on.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, thanks
Right
for
now.
joining us on our pop culture and sci-fi entertainment channel. Full disclosure, we grew up watching 70s and 80s TV, movies, animation, cartoons. We bring our own unique spin to our little corner of the universe. And everyone needs to know that we are big Battlestar Galactica fans. There is a catch-22 that Doc McAuley did not grow up watching the original Battlestar Galactica because he was a wee one when it was on. And
Whippersnapper.
yes, he was.
You're a young
Too
whippersnapper,
wee
you.
to actually, yeah. So, otherwise, he is a convert to the Battlestar Galactica franchise. So, thank you for joining us tonight, Doc McAuley. You have a lot to tell us. And
Yes. Yeah.
cool. We have Lola and Commander Kane
Her name was Lola.
are with us. Paul
Hang on.
Rotter, thank you for joining us. I know that there's others watching us on
Chris
some of our other
Laskowski.
social media. Yep.
Artie Moreno is on
Cool.
YouTube.
Cool.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Hi, all.
And there's a bunch of other of you guys that are watching with us now live. Thank you very much for
George
joining
G's
us.
in the house, probably from the restaurant that he was just at.
But so yeah, you guys, we have great numbers, viewership in the thousands. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us here on IFB. We got a lot of stuff to tell you about. So we'll bring you up to speed. We have a great guest that'll be coming on later on, a director of films, and he's got a new one that's going to be coming out. He'll talk to us about it. He worked with Roger Corman, worked for and then with Roger Corman. So that'll give you an inkling as to, where he's coming from. And I know that if John One was here, he would be beside himself because, Tipsy and John One love that type of genre of movie. And so we'll talk to Jim Wynorski in a little bit. But in the meantime, we have Doc McAuley, and he's got a whole lot of cool stuff going on as usual. And so he'll be bringing us up to speed with all the projects that he has going. And I'm just trying to see. Fran, I think Superfan Fran is out there. George G's in the house. Thanks for joining us. Rick,
Red
thanks
5
for joining
standing by.
us. Red 5, excellent. Oh, Sean Shallow from Battlestar Bulletin Board. Thank you for joining us, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And we got a pretty good, we got a pretty good lineup, and we have some cool stuff to discuss. So, Doc McAuley, thank you. Welcome back to IFB. Thank you for taking the time out so you can, join us and brief us. And how are things on your end?
Yeah, everyone's good. Yeah, parents. I'm just back from Ireland. We'll talk about that visit in a little minute.
Cool.
But my parents came over
Accent
to
kicks in
Canada.
more now.
Yeah, yeah. Lock up your daughters. There's accents back. But yeah, so parents came over
That's cool.
from Ireland to Canada for 2 weeks, so they had a good time.
Cool.
And just starting to decompress from all of that, and just back to work as usual, working in video games and all the rest of it. So
All right.
Just got
Well,
the song. Taking
join
what they're
us.
giving because I'm working for a living.
for a living. Join us on our toast. We always want to recognize the fans, because without the fans, there wouldn't be anything.
Yep.
So, there's the creators and then there's the fans, which, there's a harmony there. Without one and without the other, there isn't anything. And so we always want to make sure that we recognize
Trying to match
them up
those
front.
two together, but I come up with cans. And
Which goes back to
creators.
That
That
yeah,
doesn't sound right either.
yeah. What do you got? All right, what are we drinking?
What are we drinking? Oh, what'd you guys do with it? Do anything over the 3-day weekend? Well, I guess it's not 3-day weekend in Canada, right? Or I don't know. Do you have it?
Oh, I was
3-day week?
off. I was off work. Yeah, I
Okay.
was off, but it wasn't anything particularly. It wasn't like a federal holiday or anything for us. But
Ah,
my parents were still there, so I was out with them. I was having a couple of drinks with Dad. All that good stuff.
Cool.
cool. Pete, you do anything?
Yeah, there was graduations and things like that going on my end, which are up on my social media for the entire world to enjoy. So,
Me, I went to one of my favorite places over the weekend because I don't get to go there often, and it's about 75 miles away, and it's one of the only ones left in this area, and that would be.
Yeah, A&W, root beer.
Oh, I love the A&W. This one's a kind of a hole in the wall one, but they have the best fries in the world. So I got myself an A&W root beer, but
Okay.
the problem lies now is there's this huge space at the top. So I think I'm going to fill that now.
Oh, you could actually, you
yeah,
could
it's
put
just
like
a
an
little
egg
extra in
cream
there.
in there.
No, no,
You're not
why
gonna
would you do
fill that up.
Why not?
Are you
Go
out of
for
your
it.
mind?
Go for it.
No.
Get it into you.
It's only
Get it into
101 proof.
Oh my God.
What's wrong with
There's
it?
no way. Oh my God. All
You gotta
right.
have a
well-
kidney. You gotta have liver and kidneys of Cylons.
Oh, not at
That's
all.
that's all hopes of us getting like pictures and images and videos fucked then for the rest of the night. Oh well. Yay!
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Get it into you, mate. Get it into you.
I'd be like,
Oh my God. All right. Well, yeah. Oh boy. What do you got there, Doc?
This is not Guinness. This is actually coffee. I have to stay sober because I've got a lot of writing ahead of me in the next couple of days. So
All right.
a very sober Chris compared to the tipsy Chris on the other side there.
well,
That's right. Well,
Now
here's
you
to the
see
fans.
that evil will always triumph because good is dumb.
All right. Well,
and I
here's
haven't
to
even
the
started
fans.
yet. So hey.
Yes, go. Come on.
So,
Do it.
anyways, thank you for joining us. It is so important that we recognize all the people behind the scenes, all the crazy people who watch us. All the thousands of people that can back and watch it. Really crazy people. Don't stop though, please. Don't stop. I mean, anyways, but it's fun to have you on. It's fun to be part of this fandom. It's fun to talk about great things that are coming about and where we can go. It's so important that we touch on what you can do and what we can do and to increase the fandom. But no matter what, even if you're sitting there watching, you're increasing the fandom. So it is all about the fans because the fans feel the feet.
There you go, buddy. FFF. Yes, Shane, I am definitely worried. Seriously. Erica, thank you for joining us. Why is the video not working on my laptop?
Have you
I
tried
don't
turning it
know.
off and back on again?
Yeah.
Or it could
Got
be
it.
a PEBCAC issue.
What is that?
PEBCAC?
Yeah.
Problem exists between keyboard and chair.
Ah, that's right. I forgot. So, Chuck, cockpit is sealed, so I can't see anything. Come on, buddy. Kim, how are you? All right. Let's figure this out, man. All you guys got to come to play.
All right,
on
so
IFB.
we got to, do they have like a phone that they could bring up and we could like do a look at the computer and figure it out from there, see if it's plugged in, and
I don't know, dude, but Lola says she's got an issue. I don't know. I had an issue too. I couldn't get on, so I'm on my phone watching, doing the chat on IFB at Interfleet Broadcasting. I couldn't get my PC to work. I don't know.
it's on here.
Okay, good. It's on you. So you're watching yourself
I'm watching
in a
myself
loop.
look up at myself.
in a loop. Yeah, it's in a loop. Everybody else is having trouble. You're the only one that can see everything.
Because my camera's up there. I'm up there. My camera's here, but I'm
Yeah.
up there.
Okay.
So
Well.
it looks like it's working on this end, and it says streaming, 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 streaming. And it says the RTMP is excellent. The stream health is good. Resolution is 1920 by 1080. Bitrate is, wow, that's a pretty high bitrate. 7,101 kilobytes per second with 60 frames per second with a 2-second keyframe interval. Just so you know, those are all things that I know about.
Yes, because you have the 011001011.
Now I get the clutch song in my mind.
All that.
100111101.
Kill the humans.
Period.
It's hard to know who's actually been drinking out of the two of you at the minute.
Yeah.
But there you go.
I guess I'll get more sane the more drunk I'll get.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like Bender the robot in
Bender,
Futurama, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's,
He's a good one.
I do have a bottle of vodka sitting behind me.
Oh no, I can't. Then it's 2-1. I can't.
Vodka
no
and
way.
coffee?
I can't handle 2-1.
It's
It evens itself out. You got caffeine and alcohol. You know, it's like
God knows what I'll be pissing out of me tonight if I start that up.
Oh, you won't be able to do anything.
Oh, it would be terrible. It would be terrible. And then I would have
what the hell did you write about a cow that flies that's got a Cylon eye? What the?
All right, so guys, Doc McAuley has some really cool insights. He's got some cool stuff to talk about. I wanna jump in and get that rolling.
Rolling.
Tipsy Toaster,
Give
can
me
you
a
make
second,
that happen?
rolling.
Yeah.
I have to pull up the PowerPoint slide thingy.
All right, cool. Because we want to talk
but
about.
I don't have it. Does that make sense?
We want to talk about the Stranded Warrior. Has been doing really well.
I have the PowerPoint slide thingy.
We have been selected by 3 international film festivals.
Uno,
so,
dos, tres.
So far, yes. And
How do you say? Well, one's in Hong Kong. How do you say 3 in
I don't know.
Hong Kongese?
Hong Kongese.
Hey, I was gonna say Japanese, but I wasn't like.
You sound very
Taiwanese.
much like last week.
It's Chinese, and we don't know
yes.
what if
Is
it's
Taiwan
Mandarin
Chinese?
or
I
Cantonese.
mean, Hong Kong Chinese. I
It
don't
is
know.
now. It has been for years, buddy. Where have you been? You're on that base star.
Back behind the base star here, buddy. We
That's
don't really
right,
care
yeah,
about what
yeah.
goes on in America and the
Yeah.
United States.
Well,
and this Earth thing down there. We just want to make sure we're ready to take over with the AI piece because we're coming.
Hong
coming.
Kong Festival for Best Actress
Yep.
in the Stranded Warrior short film is being screened in the upcoming festival directly into competition. So that's cool.
That's right, with my queen.
That's right. And then Calcutta has also selected Stranded Warrior, and that's for our crew of first-time filmmakers, our executive producer and the director, Tipsy Toaster, right? So executive producer, Dr. Chris McAuley. So we're up for that in the Calcutta Film Festival. And then there is the Dubai Film Festival that has selected us in the category for Best VFX. So, yeah, we're doing well. Very proud of our accomplishments. It's a really nice short, and it looks great, guys. It looks great. You know, you guys worked hard on it. It looks good, and so let's see. The film festivals have picked it up, and now we're gonna wait for later in the fall. We will start hearing back from the rest of the domestic and also other international film festivals. But it's on our social media. Some of you have already seen it, but thank you for supporting. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
Chuck just mentioned something. If you are having problem, hang on, let's do this the right way. If you're having problems, major problems watching us, then switch over to YouTube because Facebook may be having a problem.
That's right. Just switch right over to YouTube.
Right over to YouTube, no problem at all.
YouTube. Yep.
And anyways.
Yeah. I don't know what the heck's going on, but yep.
I think there's something wrong with the computer. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Cantonese.
Anyways.
Shane tells us Cantonese. I've missed the donor showing every time. I do not check my email enough. Kim, come on.
Check your
Switching
email.
to YouTube backup systems. Okay,
Jim,
Chuck.
Kim, check your
Congrats
email
on awards. Thank you.
tomorrow, or maybe we'll let you in some other place.
Okay, so, all right, those of you, you should be switching over to YouTube. It's live. We do simultaneous onto YouTube, where all of our archive is, all of our shows for 5 seasons, 5 years worth of shows. Hundreds of them are all over on YouTube. They're no longer on Meta, Facebook. They take them down after 30 days.
Yes.
Unfortunately. But again, thanks guys for watching. I mean, we have, thousands upon thousands of views on all our stuff, so that's cool. And
All I have to say is,
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do
Facebook
that.
can't do that.
oh boy, that's a problem. All right, so
All right, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
I'm sorry, Dave. You're shit out of luck.
all right, let's go for
I like
it.
this part though.
My mind is going.
All right, we're ready to roll when you are, Doc.
Go.
Right. So I have been writing some very different stuff in the last while. Everybody knows I do the horror. I still doing some horror work, but I've started to move into kids' books and young adult territory. Now, when I was a kid, my first experience of sci-fi, apart from the 1950s movies like The Blob and stuff that used to be shown on British TV on Sundays, was going to the library and lifting books. And I lifted Terry Pratchett's Only You Could Save Mankind book. And, that was the start of me getting interested in science fiction and all of that kind of stuff. So this is what I'm trying to do with kids now. I'm trying to get them into sci-fi, back into reading again. So on the left is the first comic of Nexus Astrum. It's actually a manga comic. Both of these titles are sort of inspired by manga and anime. And when I first started writing these stories, it was kind of like stepping into a different world entirely really. Away from sort of gothic horror. There wasn't the big brooding spaces. It's not slow burning tension or the whole quiet character studies or anything like that. It's all about, fast paced action. It's about, and it's just anime and manga storytelling are about that. There's non-apologetic sincerity. There's big emotions. Stakes are like life and death, but it's not cynical. The characters generally wear their hearts on their sleeves. They fight for their ideals. There's no irony in that either. So writing in that style really helped me open up, sort of lean into emotion and write in a very sort of sincere way. Now, Nexus Astrum is set in the War Tour galaxy of 3087. So there's a tyrannical government, and we all know about that now, called the Federated Dominion, and it's got an arsenal of powerful mechs, and it's basically crushing worlds beneath its iron fist. But from this oppression, there's a new rebellion rising, and at the heart of this resistance is a young lad called Kai Takashi, and he's a young pilot that's driven by vengeance, and he's got the formidable Iron Reaper mech, and then alongside him is Lena Sinclair, who's a brilliant engineer, and she basically keeps their ragtag fleet alive against impossible odds. So yeah, it's basically freedom fighters versus tyrannical government. The battle for liberty goes across the stars. You get other factions entering into it. There's the honor-bound Solaris Combine. There's a fragile alliance, Free Worlds League, and then there's a sort of sneaky Capellian Confederation. And try and say that a couple of times with a mug full of coffee. But
Drink
they're
some
all
more, that'll
basically
work.
trying to vie for power, So that's the sort of basis of Nexus Astrum. So we've got a novel out, which is Nexus Astrum Origins, which is where it all begins, and then the comic book, and the comic book's set slightly after the novel series. So there will be a total of 4 novels released between now and next year, and there'll be a total of 4 comics released between now and next year. and Braxton Cosby, who's quite well known to people who enjoy the indie sort of sci-fi comic scene in America. He's back in this, and we are pushing this towards Netflix at the minute, and he's a producer on the push to Netflix, so that's why his name's in there too. Um, so this was very enjoyable to write, something different. I'm hoping that this gets kids into more imaginative storytelling and into sci-fi in general because I think that's really important.
Hmm.
I mean, this whole thing is a direct response to the political situations going on around the world, and a lot of kids now are growing up and they feel, powerless. They feel that their identity's been taken from them by various factions and forces. And I hope these books teach kids that it's okay to stand up for who you are. It's okay to be who you are. So that's a major part of it. Gundam inspired this, and I actually hadn't. This is strange. I hadn't watched or read Gundam until I wrote the first novel, and then somebody said, "Go and watch Gundam because you'll love it."
Right.
And it's a different flavor to Gundam, but definitely Gundam is the father of sort of anime mech stuff,
Oh
that
yeah.
and Robotech. So weirdly, as I wrote these things, I started getting more and more into Japanese anime. I have an upcoming Japanese project in comic books set during the Edo period of Japanese history. It's a straight up historical tale. There's no monsters or sci-fi things involved in it. And for that, I actually taught myself some Japanese. I'm still teaching myself Japanese because I want the prose to be authentic, but it's aimed at a older audience, round about 16 years to, our age groups. So I'm trying to write and build gaps or build bridges on reading gaps, because teenagers tend not to read too much, and young adults tend to read not to read too much, all because of that fucking TikTok thing. Swear to God, if you're a parent, don't give your kids ability to look at TikTok. It'll destroy them. It'll destroy their concentration, and it'll destroy their ability to
Right.
think and have imagination. Get them a really good book like Nexus Astrum or other books, which are currently available in your bookshop.
Speaking of bookshelves,
So, Doc, are those comic books going to be available at the comic book store or only through order, or where can those be
They'll be
acquired?
available in comic book stores across America
Okay.
at the start, but you can grab them on Amazon. You can grab them off the Cosby Media site. There's lots of ways of getting it. Just Google it, and you'll see it. And yeah, grab a copy. If you want me to sign a copy, um, what I'll do is if somebody buys a copy and messages me, I will give them an address that they can send the book to, and I will sign it for them.
Okay.
that
That's
sounds
very
cool.
cool. Thank you for doing that. Yeah. All right.
And speaking
Put
of
my kids in the
bookshelves,
summer reading program. Yeah, yeah. Listen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. So another thing that happens is that I've started becoming an advocate for other writers, and this chap Tim Bailey writes some incredible kids books. They're for kids from the age of like 3 to 6, and the backstory is that uh, they're very positive for kids with neurodivergence, for kids who have uh, you know any sort of learning difficulties. He's a really advocate for kids who struggle in whatever way, and these stories are encoded for kids. So it's about friendship and about life's difficulties and all that sort of stuff. My favorite is actually the six-legged spider. I have his book on my shelf. I should have grabbed one and let you see it. But that's us. We ended up on MSN News together. We've been on front cover of newspapers and stuff back home. And that was a great experience. And then I opened my own library. I opened up a library that's dedicated to my name. So I have a Macaulay library, at my old school. There's actually going to be two libraries in Ballymena, my name on it. But the first one is the McAuley Library. And yeah, it was fun. I went, I met the kids, I took assembly, it's quite a big library in the school as well, as you can kind of see from that picture. And I chatted to the kids about their books and things like that. They were telling me about what they liked about my books, which is all lovely, but I really wanted to find out what it was, other things that they like to read. And you'll be surprised. I mean, kids love to read mystery stories. They love to read, horror. They love to read romance. They love to read, you know, all different types of genres. And sometimes as adults, we forget what it was like as a kid to read a book and what type of books we loved. So it was a fascinating day. The deputy mayor helped me open the library, and I had old teachers, some old teachers of mine who appeared as well. And we also showed off the Franken Dice game. Franken Dice is now out as a novel by Crystal Lake. The first novel is called Monster Mayhem, and we also have an activity book coming out as well, which is full of puzzles and colouring and short stories, and that's going to be on the way in the next couple of weeks. But we actually played the Franken Dice game. I'm going to get a video. I have a video of that, so we can play it maybe in a couple of weeks' time on IFB, so you can see what it's like to play the game. We will be bringing this game out this year. I'm not exactly sure on the date, but it will be coming out this year. And that was a lot of fun. And the second book has been written and has gone to the publisher.
Nice. Congrats. That's great news, Doc.
So then still doing horror. So I am in summer edition of the Horror Zine. The Horror Zine's one of the oldest horror magazines out there. And I've sort of forgotten how many times I've been in the Horror Zine now, but that's all due to the wonderful editor, Jeannie. And I'm in there as well if you want to catch some of my more recent horror stuff. That's out on Amazon, so just Google Horror Zine Summer 2025. I am now officially a character in the Whoniverse, the Doctor Who universe. So you might remember that I wrote for a Doctor Who spin-off called Probe, which was a spin-off from Unit. And I now have my own character who, surprise, surprise, is a vampire. So some people think I played a type because I'm allergic to silver and garlic and my skin changes color in the sun, it's all verifiable by my wife, by the way. So people think I played a type there. But thanks to Warren Green, I am now a character in the Whoniverse. So that's a particular board that's up with my that illustration's actually from a Doctor Who actress called Jessica Martin, who was in Doctor Who in the 1980s, and she illustrated that picture of me. So there's the double sort of Doctor Who reference there. Great to be a character in the Whoniverse.
That's awesome.
And then you might remember last year Claudia and I created this Three Musketeers versus Cthulhu franchise. It was a comic book. It was a short story. I'm currently working on a novel. And this is the second RPG book. The first RPG book was nominated for an Annie Award for writing. Annies are the highest awards you can get for RPGs. And this is the second one called All the Cardinals Men. And it'll be coming soon from Nightfall, I think, from the next couple of weeks. So it's just a continuation of the story. If you want to see some of my sci-fi work that's out there currently, I'm front cover of Schlock magazine. Schlock's been very good to us in IFB.
Oh, yeah.
They gave us a front cover, I think last September or October, for Stranded Warrior, and we had behind the scenes pictures and also a short story, a short Stranded Warrior story. So thanks very much for Gavin for that. So if you want to see a bit more of Stranded Warrior, go and check out some of Schlock's back issues on Amazon. But this is the current issue, and I hit front cover of that. And there's a friend of mine, James, who's also in this issue, James Armstrong, who's also on this issue. We went to school together, so that's an extra special issue. for me. Now,
Oh,
this is a big one. So I haven't shown anybody this in on IFB before, but this is one. This is the newest cover for Dark Legacies. Now, everybody knows I'm a Doctor Who fan,
oh
right?
yeah.
So, the second you've got Claudia, and then the other lady in there is somebody called Nicola Bryant. And if you know her from Doctor Who, she's iconic. She had a real presence and depth. And she was Perry. She was the fifth and sixth Doctor's companion. And I can reveal that she's actually playing the part of Claudia's character's girlfriend. Claudia and Nicola are actually best friends as well, so that's a nice little twist. But what makes it very special is that we're telling a story, where Claudia's character is in a real grounded relationship with another woman. It's part of who they are. It's natural and it's real. And for me, representation like this means an awful lot. Treating a same-sex relationship with respect, that it's not a checkbox or a headline grab. It's sending a message that the characters are whole, that their love's real. It's not something that needs to explain away or justified. It's just there. And Nicola really wanted to be a part of that, and she brings so much authenticity and emotion to the role. Even so the way I work with all the celebrities and sci-fi legends in Dark Legacies is I sit with them and we go through their character and who they want to be, and that was no different here. And what's nice is in the comic you kind of see Nicola and Claudia almost sharing the screen together. It's magic, and the artist Glenn Fabry has created some great chemistry in there. And we're not trying to push boundaries for the sake of it. We're telling a very human story, and something that I hope people can see themselves in. And look, it's a personal dream of mine with two legends like that, not just involved, but telling this story. So it's a massive win for the fans. So I think that's a bit of a big reveal for IFB there. It's a great cover.
Love it.
And that's Nicola there with Colin Baker back in the day. And strangely enough, little Doctor Who fact. So Nicola continues to play Perry in Big Finish's Doctor Who audio dramas, and Claudia played Perry's mother in one of the Doctor Who audio dramas.
Really?
So there you go.
Little fun fact.
So this was a big one for me. Working on a fighting fantasy video game. So fighting fantasy is it's a kind of a legendary series. It first started in the early 80s. Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone, who are two legends. So basically they brought D&D to the UK, and they created Warhammer. So they came up with an idea that books didn't need to be linear. They didn't have to be passive. You could make choices. You could turn left into a dark cave or right towards a misty swamp. You could fight monsters, collect treasure, and solve puzzles, inside a paperback book. For us, it was amazing, back in the day. Yeah, because you were handed real agency in a story, and the idea that you could play a book. That's the foundation for what we see a lot of now in video games and RPG and interactive fiction. Now, what was different between this and Choose Your Own Adventure was that this used dice, and you could fight monsters with dice and test your luck and all sorts of things in there. So fast forward a few decades, and here I am. I was working on Eyes of the Dragon, which is an official fighting fantasy video game, and it was really surreal. It's like stepping into a world you kind of grew up loving, but now I got to sort of build on it. And it's the thing about this is it's a and all the fighting fantasy adaptations, there's 60 of these now, and it doesn't just slap the name on it. It really respects the core of what make the originals great. You matter, your decisions matter, and you win and lose not just because of a scripted cutscene, but because of your choices, your risks, your strategies. Matter. It's all about consequences, and it was a dream for me to work on this. This game's from Tin Man Games. You can grab it on Nintendo Switch, and Steam at the minute. And yeah, it was just a pleasure to work on a fight fantasy game. It'll probably not be the last one that I'm working on.
That's good. That's very cool.
Not that it's the last one you're working on, but
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah, so I continue writing in Doctor Who. So this is the Celestial Toy Room magazine. I love that cover. Great cover, shitty there. And a little callback to the Christmas special. So I am in this month's Celestial Toy Room magazine, which is the official magazine of the Doctor Who Appreciation Society, which is the official fan club for Doctor Who. So yeah, so I've been involved in writing for the Doctor Who Appreciation Society now for the last 3 years, and I've been involved in most of their annuals for the last 3 years as well. But this is one of their standards monthly mags. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing some of my Doctor Who work, you can hit that up as well and give it a read.
Very cool. By the way, Lola wants to know if you ever sleep.
Sometimes.
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 During the day.
Actually, it's very
During the
true.
day, yes.
I do sleep during
He's
the day.
during the day, and at night he's all up and about.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So yeah, no, you're definitely very, very busy. We've entered a collaboration with a publisher, and we did mention it already. Is there anything else that we could mention about the new book?
You can mention who the cover artist is if you want.
Okay, so
that's exciting.
we have mentioned previously that we are now working with Crystal Lake Publishing, and we're going to be doing a updated Battlestar Galactica related book. We did one previously, and now we're moving forward to expand it. And we have confirmed that the artist for this new book is, in fact, none other than Chris Scalf. So for those of you that are familiar with his art, many of you should be, and are, Realm Comics, he did, he ran
Battlestar, yeah.
all the Battlestar for a couple of years there, and his artwork is just tremendous. It's sought after. It's collectible. We happen to
quite a
own
few
some of
pieces.
those pieces, and yeah, it is just phenomenal. Those of you that have read the comic books or have any of them, you know who we're talking about. It's Chris Scalf, and so he's doing the cover for our unofficial Battlestar Galactica book, and we are looking forward to getting it wrapped up. If you follow us on social media, you'll see that we have the announcements. Crystal Lake already put the word out. We have, like we did on the previous one, we've updated it, and we have Lorette Spang, who's involved again with us, and then some. We have others that are going to be involved, including the Doc himself and the Tipsy Toaster, myself, and a couple others will be adding to the book. So hopefully we'll keep you posted as soon as there's any new movement. I am really excited to make that announcement that Chris Scalf is doing the cover. So there you go. Doc, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is it's very exciting to be working on a Battlestar book. It was good to.
There you go. There's one of my favorite Chris Goffs.
Yeah, beautiful work there.
Yeah,
Some beautiful
incredible.
painted work in
That's
there.
the best.
Yeah.
So it's great to be it's great to have Chris on board.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to be bringing some other well-known Battlestar names in as well, hopefully.
Yep.
So this is something to watch out for, folks.
Yeah. So it's an
you know?
unofficial. It's an homage to Battlestar Galactica 1978, and we'll announce the title as appropriate. Crystal Lake will guide us on. We'll take their input on that, and so they'll guide us as to when we'll be when the appropriate time is to release the title. I'm sure there'll be a whole to do with that. So watch our social media, but yeah, it's our way to honor the classic Battlestar Galactica 1978 that's so dear to us and the fandom. And you guys are gonna enjoy it. Obviously, we got some of the heavy hitters, and with Chris Scalf doing that cover, I'm even more excited. I didn't think that was possible, but I really am. Doc, what's? Oh, Doc is frozen in time.
Is
He's
he?
on the TARDIS. He'll be back in a second. Yes, he'll be back. But I can tell you that Tipsy's working on a great section for this unofficial Battlestar Galactica homage book that we're doing, and
Yeah.
it's
So
it's
also
gonna be sweet.
still working on getting some people, and we put it on. I put it on social media, a bunch of places, Facebook mainly. If you know anybody who preferably starred or worked in on the I'll call it a fan film of the Stranded Warrior. Jeez, don't know my brain is. Second Coming.
Battlestar Galactica fan films.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's right. You're researching. You're doing a little bit of
Yeah,
research.
so if anybody out there
and
has any contacts with any of the people from the Second Coming, I'm really looking for Laporte. Hopefully we can find the person who also wrote it alongside of Richard. So that's my goal, is to find that person, hopefully. But I can't find that person at all in social media at all. So they're listed in IMDb and everything else. I found a couple people listed in IMDb, sent them some emails. I got a couple back, but just looking for people who are involved so we can find out more information about this fabled 30-minute, and I would love to see the actual script. Would be amazing from this, see what it is. And of course, it's not a fan. Other ones they worked on was Magellan, something Magellan.
Yeah, but that wasn't the Galactica.
That wasn't Galactica.
That was a different. That
Right,
was a separate
exactly.
project.
That's
That
another project
got,
they moved onto. Yeah.
Yeah, we did get some information on that. We got to see some of it. You and I picked up a book that was related to that project. We got copies or something.
Mm-hmm.
I got a copy of it. I think it was an RPG game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
that
the
was
Magellan.
related
Yes.
to-
I thought you were
Magellan.
talking about
Yeah.
Second Coming. I'm like,
No, second.
No.
So there's.
Yeah,
look,
I actually
there's a
have the
big-
RPG game from the something Magellan. I can't remember.
Richard Hatch's, yeah, but the Great War of Magellan.
That's
Thank you,
it,
Kim.
thank you.
That's right. So the idea is that the Second Coming, Richard Hatch's work, is, it falls under the umbrella of a fan film.
Right.
Self-funded, and
Yeah,
there's this debate.
Lots of work going onto it. So
Yeah, there's a debate whether or not there was a 30-minute version.
Yep.
And there was a trailer. From the way we
and
understand it,
and you can see the trailer on YouTube without a problem.
yeah, there's a trailer out there, and there's been some comments posted over on IFB about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one that I read said something to the effect of Richard Hatch always wanted to show the trailer and then the rest of it, and then the actual short film. Where is the rest of it?
Where is the rest of it? If it even
Yeah.
wasn't, if it wasn't put together, where's the actual files, the video?
Yeah, where's the rest of the footage?
Where's the footage
So-
at? Is somebody
no, but
holding
there
on
it
to
is.
it? Is there somebody that would like to release some of that? Literally all I would love to have is I'd love to see the script, and find out
Rob
what the story
Baum
was.
says he saw the trailer at Mainline Con in 1999.
Yep, trailer was-
And
I think the first time the trailer went out was at Dragon Con, because Richard was a big Dragon Con person.
wow.
And
so
that was listed there as the first place it was shown was Dragon Con. So
well, we
I think it was
have
2006. No, I can't remember the date.
1999 is so
99,
no, yeah, it probably was earlier. Well, that's that, guys, for our updates. And there's a couple of other things we'll touch upon afterwards. However, our special guest is on, and this is Jim. Is an American screenwriter, director, and producer. He's known for making B movies, softcore pornography and exploitation films such as The Witches of Breastwick. In
I love that
2009, the documentary Popatopolis, directed by Clay Westervelt and named for one of Wynorski's pseudonyms, chronicled Wynorski during the making of his softcore horror film, The Witches of Breastwick. The film serves as a partial biography with clips from many of his previous films and includes interviews with Wynorski, his contemporaries, cast, and crew. And I'm reading that from Wikipedia, man.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself is cool. We have a really cool presentation. We have covers and posters and artwork and the like that goes along with many of the films that he's made. And we're looking forward to bringing him on.
Okay.
So
Jim,
if you're there, you are.
I've got your audio, but not your video.
Jim, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well,
Okay.
You're in the dark,
Cool.
but you're there. We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. But if you can get your video up and running, that would be just as good.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Well,
All right.
we'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll make it work. We can put up one of your projects or something up there and
Yeah,
play some.
put up this. I sent you a picture of me or something. Just put it up.
All right, good. All right, so let's roll with that. Not a problem.
Well, first of all, I want to say something.
Yes, please.
I don't do pornography.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Good. Yes.
I do erotic, R-rated movies.
Perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Pornography is sucking cock and pussy. Okay.
Right.
I don't do that.
Good.
So
Excellent.
don't refer to me as a guy who does pornography.
Okay. We
That
have
pissed me
to.
off right at the get-go, pal. So
We got to update your Wikipedia because that's where that's coming from. But I'm good. No. Hey, this is the opportunity to lay it down. We're supposed to.
I'm
know
laying
up
it
front.
down. I'm laying it
Good.
down.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, like I said, Jim, reading right from your Wikipedia. So
I didn't write that.
no. Okay. And we need to make sure that we get on top of that and straighten that out. But nonetheless, so we got that filmography going back to like 1982, so the early 80s, and moving all the way
My first
forward.
picture was 81.
81. That's incredible. Been in the business for an
Couple of
extended
years.
amount of time.
Couple of years.
Incredible. And now there is something coming up. You have something in the works that's going to be released. Is it this year or is it coming up next year?
Well, I've got a movie called Dino Gator, which is playing on Amazon right now. And it's going to be, shifted out to all the other services sometime within the next couple of months.
Cool.
And I've got a picture called Bigfoot Burgers, which is coming in another month or so.
Okay. Wow.
And then I'm going to do a movie called Cat Women of the Moon, which is a remake of the original 1953 black and white movie.
Oh boy. So the remake, is that going to also be in black and white, or is this going to be?
Are you kidding? Come on, no, it's going to be color.
All right, cool. All right. So, hey, we all know that black and white is one heck of an art form, and it's not a simple thing to do. But this sounds outstanding. Now,
Well, when I was a kid, that movie. I don't know if you probably have never seen Catwoman, have you?
I have not.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. Well, it's on YouTube.
Oh,
6 different versions of it.
Oh wow.
And when I was a kid in New York City, where I lived, it was going to be on Saturday afternoon at 3:30, and every kid in school knew it was going to be there, and everybody was looking forward to it because it was science fiction. It had a great title. It said "Cat Women of the Moon," so you know what that means. That there's obviously some hot chicks going to be in this movie. And it's gonna be science fiction. They're gonna go to the moon. They're gonna be in a rocket, all that sort of stuff. But what I got was the most boring film you could ever imagine. And I promise myself back then. I said, geez, if I ever get into a position of power, I'm going to remake this movie the way it should have been made originally. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, that's cool. How close? So this is it? Is it It's a reimagining of that original, correct?
Yes, it's a black and white movie about some astronauts who go to the moon and encounter a race of cat women who want to take command of the spaceship, fly it back to Earth, and take over the Earth.
Nice.
And of course, none of that happens.
Of course, that is.
None of that happens because there's nothing in the movie to give people what they really want. And as a kid, I said, "Boy, this film just doesn't deliver anything." And since you've never seen it, I won't belabor it. But it's a black and white movie with kind of cheapy special effects. It was made in 3D, and of course, I saw it in 2D in black and white on New York television. So that's the way I saw it originally. And every kid in school was disappointed.
Of course, right?
Of course.
So now, you get an opportunity to.
That was like buying Playboy magazine and having all the nudity ripped out before you got it.
So Jim, you get an opportunity to redo it, and so what was one of the first things? Did you go back to your childhood and say, okay, well, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to fix it. Is that what you did, or how did you approach it?
I said I want to make this the way it should have been made.
Oh.
In 1953.
Whoa.
So I'm hiring the hottest chicks.
Yeah.
The hottest girls. Since you're not familiar with this movie, I can't tell you too much about it, but I'm making it look very retro.
Oh.
There's a giant spider that was in the original that was so bad it was on strings, and they lowered it down in a cave set. And I found it.
Really?
I found the original spider from 1953.
Oh, wow.
It was sitting in a back room closet at Western Costume. And it's been sitting there since 1953.
Wow.
And I rented it, and I'm going to use it in the movie.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool then. Oh,
Plus, I have other monsters that weren't in the original movie that I'm bringing, and I'm bringing in some of the most attractive women I can.
Okay, that sounds awesome. So how long does it take from this concept? You decide, you know what, I'm doing this one, Cat Women of the Moon. All right. How do you go about then, putting this together from I'm going to now do this.
I had a script written.
Yeah.
I supervised the writing of the script, and I figured out a new way of shooting it so that I could really deliver what they really should have delivered back in 1953, which is unworldly cities and caverns and everything else back in the day. And I found a way of doing that, and that's what we're going to do.
Wow, that sounds pretty cool. Now,
I think it's going to be fun.
Oh, it sure does. It sounds like it's a lot of fun, and that's a little bit of what you sometimes can bring to whatever you do, whether it's a job that you love or not, or when you bring fun to it, it'll eventually show in the product.
I should hope so. I mean, I've made 175 different movies over the course of my career so far.
Wow.
And some of them are famous, some of them are infamous, and some of them are just movies. But I've got a lot of stuff on my plate.
That's cool.
And
now, Jim, is there a link to Harvey Korman in your past?
Harvey Korman?
Yeah.
Harvey Korman? Are you talking about the comedian from Blazing Saddles?
Or is it?
You're thinking of Roger Corman.
Roger,
There you
man.
go,
Roger.
Roger Corman. So is there a link?
You guys did a lot of research, I can tell.
What-
No, I began when I came out to Los Angeles. I went to work for Roger Corman.
Interesting. What was that
He
like?
taught me a lot. He taught me a lot of things about making movies over the course of the years.
Now he obviously has a big reputation for being able to put together films of all different backgrounds, genres, whether sci-fi or horror or whatever,
That's true.
and do them on on a small budget.
You're going to say
And-
shoestring.
Yeah. So he's he's got that to his name. Always, from what I understand, he would always complete his films and projects. And so you also used to write, is that correct?
I still do.
Still do. Okay. So from then to
I've written a number of scripts that were made into movies that I didn't direct.
Outstanding. Wow. So you've run the gamut from A to Z, and you've worked in the industry, Hollywood. What about East Coast? Did you film anything out on the East Coast, or was it all?
Yes, I filmed Return of Swamp Thing in Georgia.
Oh,
I filmed Sharkasaw Women's Prison Massacre in Florida.
okay.
I've been all over the world.
What was your, what was the biggest challenge in your career so far in terms of movie making?
Biggest challenge? Well, probably making, when you get a script and you have to make it into something good. And sometimes you get a script and it's not so good, and you have to rewrite it, keep rewriting it. And that's my goal every time I do a movie, is to make a movie that I would want to see. So when I started making movies, I lived by that rule. I said, I want to see this because, and I would put things in it that I knew were going to be worthwhile, full of action or humor, and have good characters. And that's what I've lived by since 1981.
Humor is not always easy.
Humor is the toughest thing in the world.
Yeah. So, to carry that off, how often do you actually, have to reach out and say, you know what, I'm kind of stuck on this. Maybe I'm gonna pull someone else to help out with this, or are you committed to you do your own thing and you write it out no matter
No,
what?
it's all a matter of different projects. Sometimes I have a co-writer or someone who comes in and does all the writing, and I just supervise. And so I have people I go to, and then sometimes I just say, I'm going to do this myself because I think I know exactly what I want.
Wow. How difficult is the world of financing to actually produce something like
Well,
this?
that's the most boring question you could ask me. Okay, it's tough. You got to go find the people who have money so you can make these movies. And thankfully, I've made a lot of movies that have made good profits. So I've got people who have money who will give me more money because they're making money. But a lot of people who make movies, they throw a lot of money into a movie and it dies. So one of the things I did learn from Roger Corman was how to make a movie that makes money.
Well, yeah, that's another science in and of itself. So we've asked a lot of different types of questions. We always come down to a couple that we always like to try to bring up and discuss when it comes to directors, filmmakers, producers. Your take on how important is it to actually go to film school versus just getting out there?
I learned nothing at film school. I learned nothing at film school. Okay? I did not learn a thing. I learned how to thread a movie camera.
Huh.
But I didn't learn really the backbone of filmmaking. And that is how to make a movie that everybody's going to watch and enjoy. And that's a big, big difference.
So if you were going to advise someone, a young person that wants to get into the business, you would say, go PA and work your way up instead of investing in, doing the
No, it
whatever
depends.
program?
It all depends. If he's got a rich daddy, go make a movie. Okay. That way, if it fails, daddy ain't gonna be upset.
Okay. What about just getting
But
together with
if
your
he's
friends?
borrowing $10 from everybody on the block
Yeah.
and it fails, he's never going to get another $10 from anybody.
Right. All right. So it's that's definitely one approach. I mean, look, filmmaking has its challenges. It's not simple.
Of course
But
not.
it can be a fulfilling thing if you get out there and, like you said, you figure out the ins and outs and maybe get a good mentor. I know that networking is something that has to be taken seriously. How does that networking aspect of filmmaking play into your world?
No, you have to find a good distributor. You have to find somebody who's not going to rip you off. You have to find good actors who can show up on time and know their lines. You have to find good crew people who bring talent to accentuate what you're going to be making. Good DP, a good sound man, a good, set designer. They're all important.
And you keep all of those people around then, right? Once you've had them working on something that you see works well and it all clicks.
You bring them back because they're not going to screw you over.
Which can easily happen, right? I mean, I'm sure
If
after
you get the
doing
wrong person, yeah.
hundreds of movies.
I had a girl who tried to embezzle from me.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
We found out, we fired her, but she was embezzling. So they're out there.
So Jim, what's it like when, it's kind of talked about in hushed tones when individuals will show up and you sometimes you do your vetting and they'll say to you, yes, I'm a cinematographer and I've done this, that, and the other, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, it doesn't, I don't know, they kind of fake their way. And
I know instantly.
aha.
I know instantly. If they're bullshitting me, I'll know hour one of day one. And they'll be fired.
How long did that take you before you knew? Was that something that, because sometimes things can be a little more technical than
over the
others.
years, as I said, I made 175 movies. So after a while, you just know who's good, who's not good. And if you say something that makes them think that they know what they're doing and they don't, instantly.
How's it been working with some of the technical changes and evolutions, including
Every couple of years it changes. Every couple of years it changes. I mean, when I started off making movies, everything was 35 millimeter. Now everything's on digital tape.
what about like the green screen?
Immensely.
Working more and more with green screen versus practical
Yes,
effects? How does that play?
Green screen is now a really very viable way to make a movie. Catwoman of the Moon is going to probably be all green screen.
Oh wow.
Wow. How deep do you get into the post production, Jim? Is that something that you are hands on as well?
You have to. You know, you make the movie, you give it to a guy who edits. He edits, sends me the edits, and I make suggestions. I cut this or add something here. He does. Then I lock the movie, and then the sound guy does his work. And then we do the color correction, and then the movie gets released.
Wow.
It's pretty much of a factory once the movie's in the can.
And so do you...
Have you seen any of my movies?
Well, I
Pete,
personally...
I'm
I
asking
haven't
you,
seen...
have you seen any one of my movies?
I have not seen your movies, but I
Okay,
know that...
that's so obvious to me right now that it's almost comical. Okay.
I will be, though.
It's too late. I'm here already. Okay. So who's the other guy? Chris?
Yes. And Chris happens
Has Chris
to
seen
be,
any of my movies?
He's a bigger fan of your genre in terms of the style, and he was surprised. He was like, well, you know what? This is someone that we want to actually get into. We want to discuss what this is about, the process, some of the movies, some of the things that, you know, you've picked up on, and some of the things that you could recommend to not only us, but the audience, right? So our 35,000
I recommend you, if you're going to do an interview with somebody, you should at least watch one of their movies so you could talk intelligently about them. Okay? I'm not knocking you, but this is the first interview I've done in a while where no one obviously watched any of my movies, and I don't know what I'm doing here. So,
well, Jim,
much as I loved hearing about Battlestar Galactica. I worked with Richard Hatch, and I worked with Dirk Benedict over the course of my career. So, but not on Battlestar Galactica.
Interesting.
Richard
What
Hatch
projects were those?
Richard Hatch did the voice of a character in a movie I wrote called Sorceress, and the lead guy was such an awful actor that we brought in Richard Hatch to do his voice in the movie. So that's where I worked.
Wow. And Dirk Benedict was
married to a woman named Tony, not Tony Collette, but Tony some, and I used Dirk's child in 5 of my movies.
Wow. That's something. Very, very interesting. Well, Jim, how about this? If you are open to coming back when you release your next project, which we touched upon lightly, we watch the movie upon release. And if you are willing to then come back and have an in-depth conversation on that film, we would love to have you come back, and then we can really get into the nuts and bolts of that project. Would you be open to do that?
Not especially, but maybe.
Okay. Well, we are extending an invitation, and we will do our part.
Look, I thank you for your interest, and I hope that the show is your show is successful, and I wish you all the best.
Well,
so
thank you for taking the time out. We enjoy having all different types of professionals come onto our show talk about and promote, like we were doing with your projects. For those that have or have not watched, yes, you're right. We have not watched your products, your films, your projects, but we will. And after we do that, we are going to then ask you to come back, and hopefully you'll take the time out.
Well,
We appreciate it.
I will say that my films are currently, I have like 30 films on Tubi. I have a number of films on YouTube, Amazon, you know, so many films. So if you have anybody has any interest in seeing them, they're available. And I thank you for your interest, and I wish you guys the best. Okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time out here on IFB, and best of luck with some of the new things, with all the things, the past and the future, and whatever's coming out and out. Thank you so much. And again, we're going to come back to you, and when we do, we will be better prepared. That is,
yes, I think that would be wise. That would be wise. New York Pete, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it very much. All right, cool. So listen, guys, we got to hear from a director producer that actually has made almost 200 different films, all over. I mean, just working with some pretty cool people in the industry. And we got some background on how things are done, how things are made, and there's a couple of great films that I think might be kind of fun to watch, and we'll see how that plays. Tipsy, you and John One happen to be pretty big fans of the B movie, right?
Yes.
The B movie style. So
very much.
Yeah.
And the idea behind these interviews is not to. Usually we like to interview someone and talk and have them give us insight about what they do and how they do it. Not all the time do we get a chance to watch the movies of the person. So anyhow, I'll just leave it at that.
Well, look, the idea is that, we can't read, we've had hundreds, literally hundreds of authors that come on. We can't read every author's work, but we want to give insights. We want to give the opportunity to whomever it may be, a creator that can come and give us insights on, who and what, how it's made, who they work with, their background, what's coming out, right? Give an opportunity to plug whatever projects they're making, which we did get into, which is kind of cool. And so hey, I'm open to watching some of the cool stuff that he's made, and then hopefully we can entice him to come back, and really, because the impression that I got was that let's get into the making of. Let's talk specifics on certain aspects of the film, of like the shots, like the actors, the characters, how it was made, and what's cool about it was I was getting like, hey, watch it, because I'm not going to hold back, like, if you've seen it, then let's openly talk all about it, which sometimes is not possible, right? Sometimes you want to hold back, like what the story is. You don't want a punchline. But if you watched it, he seems like the type of producer, director, writer that is like, no, let's get into it. This is that character. Remember that? Oh, well, he's telling us about how, the spider and where does the spider come in? Well, instead of him having
a fantastic story about finding it. So
yeah, right. So instead of just him having to tell everything about it, it would be back and forth, and we can, we'll dissect it. Whereas most of the other times that we have others, other directors, producers, whatever, sometimes they don't want to give away as much or get into some of that nitty gritty. He seems like he really wants to, and he's very proud of what he does. So that's cool, man. Hey, I'm all for it. It's an opportunity for us. No one can watch and see everything that's out there, but we can pick and choose. I'm interested. I'm all for it, man. I'm up to the challenge, guys, and I'm going to do I'll put my money where my mouth is, and I will go ahead and I will watch.
We should have asked him which one to watch.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing maybe some
Ones
of.
he's
I
most
know.
proud of.
I know Dino Gator is a TV movie directed, and it's according to IMDb 2024. But I don't know. I think I don't know. We'll see. We should. You guys, let's pick a couple, and maybe we'll come to a consensus. We'll watch, and then maybe we'll ask him back. We'll prove to him that we watched it, and we'll get into a different type of conversation.
Right.
And that's the impression that I was getting, which is fine by me, man. I mean, like, wow, let's do that. Let's get into, unfortunately, the Wikipedia is not up
Yeah,
to speed.
that kind of made me angry.
Well, so
I
that
can see why.
apologies for that.
Yeah.
That was, like I said, I was quoting directly from a public Wikipedia site. Obviously hasn't been totally approved by his
Yeah.
people, but that's
Probably IMDb would have been better, maybe.
yeah. Well, you know what? In that moment, it's hard
Yeah.
to tell what's good and what's not. But well, these things. It's out there. It's it's public. It's not like we purposely went out of our way to say the wrong thing. That was
Yeah.
not the intention. But we clarified that. Very important that we actually clarified that what is on IMDb is incorrect. So we'll move on from that. That was a good opportunity to try to fix that. Glad we did. And so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of he's done like almost 200 films.
Yep.
So this take a pick. I mean, you can go from A to Z on how many of these things are. There's a lot. So that's great. So there is a great variety that we could choose from. We'll get together. Maybe we'll put it out there, and we'll have
Yeah.
the fans pick a film, and we'll let them choose what they want us to see, and then and then we'll all watch it, and then we'll bring them back, and then we'll get into details.
I
That'd
have
be
a
kind of
feeling
cool.
he's not going to come back.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
Just saying.
yeah. Look, look, we'll do our due diligence.
Yeah.
We'll actually watch, and then we'll leave it up to him. But I think it'd be kind of cool. Like I was kind of interested in that one that he was talking about, where he was growing up and he'd seen it when he was a kid, and that's
Is that the one that's not out yet? The Catwoman one?
Yep.
That's not out yet, right?
Yep. So that would be kind of cool. Get to watch that. It comes out. We watch it. Tell him. See if he comes back, and then we do we'll write him. We'll chat it up, and then we'll see if we can bring him back. It'll be kind of cool. So I think the way he wants to discuss his work, I think that would be really, really the way to do it. So
Right.
yeah. And there you go, guys. We've interviewed so many
I mean,
directors.
the normal thing about this is we like to interview people. Doesn't mean we have to read everything or do everything, read everything they do. And we like to ask the questions, what motivates you? What gets you to do these things?
Yep.
To do that, I don't need to watch your movies. To do that, I don't need to read your book. I'm hoping you motivate me to do things as a fan. What are you fans of? What are you a fan of? What do you like to, what made you want to do movies like this? Did you start from the beginning? Like these are questions that, you can answer without actually having to watch movies. And it's always great to have directors and writers and special effects artists and everything else on our show to talk about those kind of things. It is unfortunate that we had not had a chance to watch any of these shows, but once again, we would have liked to. We did get a lot of good information and information on what he likes, his how he got in the business and things like that. So that we got some good information there. We'll watch a movie too, maybe. I love B movies. I love, I was afraid to say B movies because I wasn't sure that would. He might have said they're not B movies. but I love the the comedy in those movies and things like that. So, I've watched tons of movies that are B movies, and that was the thing that I always do. So, fortunately, I don't think I've ever came across any of these movies. Of all of the B movies I've watched, Rubber and Velocipaster and all of this stuff, I don't think I've ever come across a movie that was on that list, unfortunately. But now that I have the list, there's something in there that looks interesting. I would like to watch. So
Yeah,
I'll watch them.
I mean, I was kind of surprised that you hadn't seen any.
I was looking
these
through
are
there,
like your
this is my thing, and I don't think I've seen any of these.
Yeah.
I think, but actually, one of the ones that I think I might have saw, but it's been so long ago, was it was the sorority girls one. It's my Navy days.
Yeah. Hey, look, the Catwomen of the Moon.
It was before, marriage.
Look, Catwomen of the Moon. I don't know. I'd give it a shot. I definitely would watch. What the hell? Especially since he's, like he said, look. I saw it. I've
seen Swamp Thing, but not Swamp Thing 2.
Right. Now, Catwoman of the Moon, I watched the original, but, I mean, I saw when I was in high school. That was how many decades ago? Yeah. I don't remember. The only thing I remember was, like he had said, it didn't have anything to do with, the trailer or the write-up. So it was a forget it. Like you just,
I like the old horror movies, Empire of the Ants.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wrote on to the old 50s movies as well. So
right. So look, if he's gonna, he said he's gonna redo it. He's gonna, put in what he thought was missing from the original, and bring it, give it that that flavor and feel of what we expected when it first came out. I mean, when it first came out, I saw it on a VHS back in it, like I said, back in like 1980s or something. So I don't remember the details. So I wasn't going to pretend that, I remembered it. That's not what we're here about. We're not here to pretend. Yeah, exactly. So, hey, I definitely would watch it. So if we get a chance, definitely call out again, see what happens. Would love to have him come back, and then we take apart the movie. Let's jump right in. We'll analyze it. We'll break. We'll get into it. We'll see.
Bite my tongue there. Anyways, looks like Baz has got an update there. Good Lord, buddy. Still having problems getting funding.
Wow. Well, let's try to do something about that. So listen,
right. But I don't think Baz accepts donations. That was always been the problem. That problem. Don't get me wrong, Baz. I didn't mean that to come out that way. You don't usually accept donations. You want to sell your knives and things and use that money to go towards it. If I'm wrong there, then type us back and tell us how we can help.
Yes,
and I'm sure we can put together a group of people who want to send you some money somehow. But if you're not willing for that, then let us know.
Baz, you had a really, I think now
don't
you're
give up on
this.
I mean, you did a lot of work.
Correct us if we are wrong, or if I'm wrong. But when you did the special commemorative coins, those challenge coins that you did, my impression was that you did really well. That it went, you met your goals, and I thought that was one heck of a way. If you do something like that, maybe you might consider doing that again or revisiting it some way. I thought that was kind of cool.
Let us know how we can help. We want to help
for sure. So let's try to energize that. We'll get the word out. So come up with
that's what I remember you saying
project,
when we did an interview, Baz. You don't feel right about donations,
Yeah, so let's see if you come up with something else like you did with those, like I said, the coins or the medallions, and that was great. They were numbered. You put them out. I thought we jumped in on it personally. We helped promote that one. I think that went well. So maybe something like that will work. Let us know. We want to help you out as best we can. Doc McAuley said, "Storm on the way." We got the balls of lightning. So not good.
Bolts, maybe.
Maybe, but If not,
I don't
it's
think I've ever
bad.
seen
Either way, it's
balls of
bad.
lightning before.
Yeah, imagine that. So, probably either way, he's got a bad storm on his doorstep. So he's out of commission. Unfortunately, it's okay. Stay safe. Doc McAuley, appreciate everything you do. Thank you very much. And we had a great segment. And there's we got to promote the minicon that's coming
Yeah.
up in July.
Let me find it.
Yeah.
Give me a
So let's
second.
get that up because we're going to be there, guys. So we are actually donating a Battlestar Galactica package. So we're putting together a bunch of things for the charity auction that goes on. It's a free mini convention, sci-fi minicon, and that is July 19th. It's in Levittown Hall in Hicksville, New York. We did this last year. It's for charity. We did that with the ECG, Empire City Garrison. The director is, of course, our own Chris Fian. And so, we'll have a table. We will be representing. We will be helping out as best we can. So we're putting together a special promotional, Battlestar package that contain one of the collectible posters from the Stranded Warrior, and we have another special poster. It's a Cylon image that's made by a friend artist, and it's signed. That'll be part of it. And Tipsy's got a couple of things he's going to throw in. We're going to put in a bunch of other things related to IFB and the Stranded Warrior, and we're going to package all that, help raise money at the charity auction. So if you're around, guys, please come down. There is a really cool variety of actors, cosplayers, wrestlers. The Empire City Garrison is going to be there. There's going to be the Rebel Legion and the Ghostbuster guys, and just a lot of really cool people. And there you go. There's the promo, and it's free admission. We did it. They're gonna have vehicles, right? So the DeLorean, there's the DeLorean is actually Chris Fian's DeLorean, so that'll be there as well. The Saber Guild will be there. They put on a whole demo. It's a lot of fun. So for those of you that are near, in the New York area, please come down. Real big success last year. We were there, we saw it, we witnessed it. So we expect that to be the same, if not better, this year. So we're looking forward to going down there. And, there's guest autographs, snacks, beverages, raffles, vendors, gaming, Blaster Trooper, Jedi training, pictures galore. So it's definitely a fun time. So there you go, guys. As a matter of fact,
the giveaway for the big, was it the 7
I don't know if it's still, I don't know if they put it up yet, but there's, so we'll let you know, guys, as soon as I know that Chris Fian will let us know where the site is for the raffle, so that we can help out with that. So this is all charity. Everything that's raised that day all goes to charity. So keep that in mind. We definitely are going to be a part of that again. This weekend, John One will be going to Trek, Long Island. So he's going to go to the media/press junket on Sunday. He's going to do his best to try to get a couple of interviews from some of the actors that are going to be there. They took care of us last year very, very well. So this year, John's going to go back. Unfortunately, I won't be able to support John on this one, but he's going to do his best. And so we'll have hopefully at minimum pictures. He's going to do some video, hopefully get some interviews, and we'll be able to put those up and share those on IFB from Trek Long Island. And there's So yeah, there's other things going on. There's other cons. I know Dragon Con is coming up, and a lot of you at the IFBers are going to
Kind of
be
the
at Dragon Con.
defunct Battlestar reunion at this point. So there's a lot of Battlestar people that go. But back in the day, there used to be a lot of people who they would get a lot of people from Battlestar Galactica to go to it. The last couple of years, they haven't got like that many people from Battlestar Galactica, 2004 or 78 come to it. Richard Hatch would always be there.
That's a shame.
He would always go there, but it just it definitely has petered out in regards to the Battlestar crowd. But we won't let that happen again. We'll make sure our people show up. Unfortunately, the Tipsy Toaster has not going to be able to make it to that one. He had something else come up, but I will be next year. I promise.
There's going to be a lot of IFBers going to be there, so that's going to be cool. You guys keep us posted. Give us feedback. Let us know how that goes. Comic Palooza
is big. They've got a lot of Battlestar people coming to that.
Yeah, Erica from BFC is going to come on to IFB
again.
And she is going to give us a full update on everything that's going on, because there is a heck of a lot going on at Comic Palooza, Battlestar wise. I mean, it's a heck of a convention, but they're the 25th silver anniversary reunion or celebration rather of BFC, the Battlestar fan club, is going to be celebrating at the Comic Palooza, and they're doing a Battlestar reunion. So it's a whole franchise reunion, and we're going to hear all about the ins and outs and some of the events that they're planning. So we're going to have a briefing for you. So stay tuned. That's going to be coming up.
Something the 501st Legion needs, or at least the Rebel Legion needs, is the Jar Jar Binks. So nobody cosplays Jar Jar. What the hell?
There's so Lola's asking for cons closer to Florida. There might be something for us to then try to do, maybe like a festival con type of thing. Not
which
sure.
One was that one?
But there's a couple of things out there that we might be able to. So let's see.
Don't give up hope. We're ahead there.
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try
Actually,
really hard.
we tried to go to, was it the Orlando one last year? Or the year before?
There was an Orlando one we tried.
We had a list, but that one didn't. We couldn't afford. When we started looking at the list, that one came out a little too high.
There's just too much going on, and a lot of work. Yes. So, all right. Well, look, we have. Is Volcon still in operation? Rob, I don't think it is, but I think it's shore leave.
Yeah,
shore leave is still now. I believe that Shore Leave is also trying to do a little bit of the Battlestar Galactica. Let's see if we can help them out.
Yep.
There's a possibility that we can help them maybe get some Galactica presence.
Yep.
We'll see.
There's another con coming up shortly that's RetroCon. Is that right?
I've been to one. I already went to one.
I think it's RetroCon.
Yeah. And
reason I was looking to go mainly because they had a specific where is it? I don't remember his name.
Who's going to that?
I gotta find him.
Gotta
find him. I don't know if it's RetroCon.
No, the name of it. Is it the one in Jersey?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right, the one in Jersey, you got to be careful because sometimes there's a couple of cons in Jersey that are like mostly card based,
and
they're like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Had a lot of old people. Well, I almost said that bad.
Ooh.
Had a lot of older seasoned actors in it. Especially
Chiller's a good one.
Chiller's good. This one had he played the crazy guy in Where the Buses Don't Run in Miami Vice. One of the best acting things I've ever seen for a crazy person.
Really,
I love that. That's my favorite. One of my favorite episodes. For Miami Vice. I don't remember.
Come on, you Miami Vice fans. The one I'm referring to is in PA. I have 2 cosplay BSG jackets I'll donate with badges.
Ooh.
says Lola. Wow. Okay. Let's talk offline, Lola, and that'd be kind of cool. See, we're going to try to raise as much money as we can for the charity auctions at the Minicon.
Bruce McGill.
Oh, you found it?
I didn't find the thing. I found who it was.
Okay.
Now I gotta
And now you're going
find
to
it
try to
again.
link that
Yeah.
to the rest of it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yes. So, Lancaster, PA, Rob, shore leave. That's where they are now. And we had gotten a request to try and help support. They are trying to, yep, there it is. So we received a message, an email from the, who is he? He's a con co-chair and co-chair for guest relations. So we are going to try to help them get some Battlestar Galactica 1978 actors from the original cast members to come to shore leave next year, and that's in July. So we're working that. They're looking at their budget. They're looking to see who they can get, and so we are trying to help them as best we can to do that. Now, shore leave, I believe, was not always in PA, in Pennsylvania. They've actually moved. They were forced to move when they lost, I believe,
Yeah, the hotel.
home that they had. Yeah, the hotel was sold, and so I think it was torn down. So they had to find a new location, which they did, and so now they're in Lancaster. So that's what we're talking about in terms of the con. That's shore leave, so we're working with them, and I don't know. We'll see. We're going to do our best, guys. We're going to see how many people we can try to rope into going with us if this all happens. Meeting up at shore leave in Lancaster. We'll keep you posted. That's for 2026. In the meantime, we're trying to get all the logistics together. All right. Oh, Mid-Atlantic Nostalgia Convention. Oh, now that. Oh, look at that. Vicki Lawrence. Michael Horse. Christy McNichol.
So in love with Christy McNichol when I was a kid.
Okay. Oh my God. Sid Croft. Wow. Oh, Larry Matthews. Who's that? Diana who?
Iverson.
Oh, okay. Patty McCormick. And who's that? What was she in? Oh, wow. Juliet Mills. More to come.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
One of them is
Sid Croft. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of them is
wow.
Bruce McGill. You might recognize him.
Oh yeah.
He's coming.
Oh, he's done a lot of stuff, man.
And
have watched him in a lot of actual. He's done TV and movies. Seen a lot of his projects. Absolutely. Woof. Oh, Fake Jan. Thank you guys. So that was Fake Jan. All right, there we go. Fake Jan. Woo. Okay.
One of my favorite episodes, Out Where the Buses Don't Run.
Hey, have you heard anything about
you might recognize that piece of it.
Have you actually heard anything else on the remake? Because it's supposed to be the remake,
I have not heard anything else on it. I'm still doubting.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know if it's real or not half the time. So it says it's real, then sometimes you look at it and it's like, no, it's not. But
let me see, Jim. Let me see. Not sure if info's up to date or right. I guess you can give it a try. Let's see. Okay, so we got some information. Thank you, Jim Klubna, who is one of the IFB super fans, great supporter of IFB, and we hold him near and dear to our hearts. Jim's always backing us, sharing, liking IFB, so thank you. He got us some information. Maybe we'll see. We're going to give the info you passed on. We're going to give it a shot, see if we can actually make it happen and make it work. More details to come. We'll see if anything comes of that, Jim, we'll let you know. And of course, you'll get credit for it. So we have a lead for one of the a BSG related project. So we'll see if that plays out. But thank you, Jim. Appreciate the help. And things are happening, guys. Like there's all kinds of things. We got a bunch of really cool guests lined up. We're going to be doing Tipsy, our fan fiction.
Fan fiction is next week, I believe.
And we're going to have
Superfan Fran and Sean Shallow.
And we're going to have Professor Patton will be coming on. If you guys are not keeping up with the bulletin board, Battlestar bulletin board that Sean Shallow has, man, he's got some cool stuff going on, and he's writing all this fan fiction, and we want to get into it with him.
Yep.
And so he's coming on, and of course, I think there's like a team up between Sean and Professor Patton, and so they got stuff to tell us about. Professor Patton has been working on getting that digital series, right? Because he's been doing for like years now, working on his vision of what BSG would be, moving into the future. And so they've been writing out whole episodes based on this world that they created. So there is a lot of great fan fiction and a lot of fan related material going on in one of the worlds that we love, which is BSG. Because remember, there's a ton of Star Wars, there's a ton of Star Trek, both of them still active, still out there, right? But there's other cult TV and movies that also have I don't know how active the Miami Vice thing is, but it's got to be enough that they're redoing
there has to be something
the franchise. So
once again, I still have to look that back up because I just don't trust the internet anymore.
But there's stuff. I mean, look, for those of you that follow or read a lot or are into the fan fiction in general, a lot of it stemmed and came from Star Trek, the original, right? There was a lot of huge wave of fan fiction that ended up getting picked up and then was novelized, and they had the Best of Trek, which is basically fan fiction that was made semi-official, because it was then published by officially published. There were the paperbacks that were out there, and I don't even know how many of those came out. So that's one way that fan fiction became sort of a thing in the sci-fi world. But outside of sci-fi,
I have a number of Miami Vice fan fictions.
You do?
Yes.
I just don't know if there's anything going on now.
Actually, I was just
new
just
stuff.
Check the interweb, and once again, it keeps saying Universal Pictures is going to be bringing back a movie for Miami Vice. So,
well, for those of you that don't know, fan fiction in the music world, whether it's punk or rock and roll, is insane and has been for decades. It rivals sci-fi, and there's still small conventions. Pre-COVID, the conventions for fan fiction was still going. I found a couple of them, and they do them in Europe as well. So fan fiction for in other genres exists, which is mind-blowing. Like for music, and what we're talking about is fan fiction written about bands and not about music. It's about stories about bands doing things, and which is just wild. But then the characters, like for example, like you said, Kiss. So that's out there. So I'm wondering if Miami Vice still has that type of a community. I'd be totally fascinated.
They have a community, but I don't think they have a fan. I don't think there's a lot of fan fiction communities anymore.
Still going? Who knows? Yeah. Never heard about musical fan fiction. Yes, Rob. All kinds of the band stuff, and there's also fan fiction written about superheroes, DC and Marvel. There's a whole subculture that gets into that, and I don't know how active they still are, but that exists. So I
Just meets the
just
Phantom.
mind-blowing.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. Bad fic. But anyway, all cool stuff, all good stuff. So, like I said, we got a bunch of great guests lined up from now till
Yep.
July. We
Jack's
have a
back on
lot.
next month, or this.
Jack
Well, I
Stoffer's
guess
back on.
we're almost at the end of this
Absolutely.
month, so we'll have another setup for Jack ahead,
Yep.
and that will be talking about the Second Coming.
Yep, that's right. So he's going to share with us all, his insights, his take on it,
Yeah, I'd love to
what
hear
it was
some
like.
of the scenes he shot. Yeah,
Yep, and he's going to tell us all about how Richard Hatch approached them and how they actually got together and how they, how it all worked. And so that's going to be really cool. So we're going to get to hear it from his perspective. And remember, unfortunately, Jack doesn't do conventions anymore.
right.
So, we're giving him a platform so that he can share all of these stories.
Exactly.
And that, those of us that never saw him at a con, Tipsy, right?
Yeah.
That we, I never saw him at a convention. So this is the
We were
perfect
supposed to see him
opportunity
at a convention,
for a
but-
lot of us. Yeah, we
That
were.
convention
but
was
we didn't
canceled.
get a chance to, right?
Yeah.
Because we could thank the pandemic for that. But those of us like myself that we didn't get to see him. Well, guess what? He's got a place now here at IFB,
Yep.
and he's going to share all of those
Once
great
a month.
stories. And even once a month, remember that even at the convention, there's limited amount of time that these guys can talk at a panel, and we're giving people like Jack the opportunity to share all that stuff and get it out there.
Last interview
and,
was just amazing. So if you ever get a chance to check that one out too.
Oh yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
it's getting close.
It's very close.
It's getting
So
close.
We're getting back in. We're
So
losing
close.
transmission distance, and like I
Yep.
said, a lot of you switched over to YouTube. Like it on Facebook, like it on YouTube as well. I think we're on Twitch. I don't think we do Twitch anymore, do we? I have to look. We may still be
we don't.
broadcasting on Twitch, but I don't
Yeah,
think so.
Deg
Oop,
Deg
go ahead.
says, Jack, great dude, sweet man. Absolutely. So he'll be back. Thanks for jumping on, Deg. I didn't notice if you were on. You were on for a
He just
while.
came
Oh
on,
yeah,
yeah.
you put up some comments. Thank you, Deg. Appreciate it. So yeah, we got more coming, guys. There's more. There's plenty. So just remember this. If for whatever reason there's some kind of an issue, whatever the issue may be, always check on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We're streaming live simultaneously on YouTube. So Facebook, we got covered at least on 3 different social
Yeah, we
pages,
broadcast on 3 different pages.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
But if there's a problem, jump onto YouTube, and if you want to catch past episodes, jump over to YouTube.
YouTube,
All
because
of them
that's
are
where all the
there.
past episodes are, because Facebook's deleting all their other ones.
Yep.
So I keep getting
Yep, they're
emails
taking
every
them
day
down.
about,
Yeah,
hey,
taking
you're
them down. 30 days
Yep.
and they're off. You're
So-
out. But yep, thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay tuned for more info.
Yep.
We will be posting as we hear, as we get any kind of information on what's going on in terms of BSG or projects, Tower Protocol Resurrection, or the Stranded Warrior, whatever it may be. We'll let you know. So just keep listening. Keep tuning in, guys. We really appreciate you. Thank you for supporting, and especially Tipsy. We put this up, and then in rerun, right, in syndication,
Yep.
we get thousands of views, which is mind-boggling.
It's quite a few.
30
And-
over
and
30,000 fans that watch, that are
crazy.
sci-fi fans, right? I mean, not everybody watches everything, right? I mean, you just can't. There's just too much. But we cover our fandom, our fans, IFB. We're pretty spread out. We cover a lot of great sci-fi, a lot of different shows. So thank you, appreciate you all,
Yep.
and look forward to having you again.
Yes. So once again, check us out on all the different social media platforms under Facebook, YouTube, and we do have an Instagram site. We don't do that one enough. We need to do more of those. But check us out there. We'll be back next week, 8 o'clock, same bat channel, same bat place. And we look forward to seeing you again then. But until then, keep the fandom alive, because fans fuel the fleet.
Fans fuel
I'm
the
almost
fleet.
done.
Here's to you guys.
Here's to
Thanks
you
for
guys.
tuning in, man. We'll see you next time.